Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Bikini Bottom Inquirer, the final episode of the season. This is the season finale! Season finale! There's a new SpongeBob movie out, Mr. Has-Been.
That's true, and we're going to get to that, but real quick, I think we should kind of, we've been gone for several weeks. I don't even know how much at this point, because we recorded that Christmas episode
a month ago?
About a month ago-ish.
Oh, let me pull up the channel. 2 weeks ago, what are we talking about?
No, it got uploaded 2 weeks ago, but we recorded it before that.
3 weeks, yeah.
So at least 3 weeks ago, if not more. Point is, there's been a lot of things happening. I thought we'd just speed through them real quick. Let me
do a little update. Also, did you like the TV?
I couldn't tell what I was looking at first, and now I see it. Okay, yeah.
It's a 10-hour loop.
Tattletale Strangler.
Such a good episode.
A lot of deaths happening. Not to bring the room, but in the same week, 2 different Nickelodeon voice actors.
I thought you were going to be like, you were going to start like, so Christmas was a lot quieter this year. I was like, Jesus. Yes, we have.
Actor Sheen,
I know,
passed away very early.
Was insane. Because you messaged me about it, and I was cracking jokes and being like, "Oh yeah, they're trying. Nickelodeon's trying to."
Because originally, when I messaged you about it, he was in the hospital and just was like sick or something. It was what the news was.
You sent me the TMZ link that said Jimmy Neutron star Jeff Garcia currently hospitalized. I didn't read the details or anything, and I responded with, he talked too much shit about Nick for too long, now they're coming for him. The next message from you was him being dead.
Like, oh. Yeah, they sent the ninjas, unfortunately. I was not super familiar with him. Obviously, I watched Jimmy Neutron and Planet Sheen, so it was sad. And he did other things too. Yeah. He was in Barnyard. He played the little mouse in Barnyard, I believe.
Okay. Yeah, in about 2018 or so, I had a stage of, it was that kind of, 17, I was like, I'm going to actually learn about these people and be kind of involved. And so I went through podcasts and YouTube videos and all that a lot during that time. And I watched some podcasts with him and some videos with him. So I got a bit of background. That's where I got this idea of him disliking Nickelodeon, because during that stage he was quite pissed off at them. So I mostly the Jimmy Neutron cast and a little bits of SpongeBob. I learned a lot about all of them during that time. So that's as most as I kind of went to. And I stopped because I kind of was starting to work out that the guy who voices Patrick is quite creepy. And I was like, no, it's ruining it. Oh, he's just very smutty jokes.
I think they're all like that, to be honest.
He's just that all the time, and it's just like you sound like Carl all the time, so I just can't. And he does it in Carl's voice as well.
Said,
so I was like,
you said Patrick earlier. Okay.
Sorry. Yeah. The voice for Carl.
I almost had the opportunity to meet him. I've never noticed that before, but yeah, he's in so many things, and that doesn't really surprise me. His son was a part of Game Explain, the YouTube channel, and then all of the employees at Game Explain quit at the same time to go start their own YouTube channel, because I guess the guy in charge is kind of a douchebag. I don't know. But yeah, his son does Nintendo YouTube, basically.
I'm not making any hard comments about him. I'm basing this off of podcasts where he's trying to be funny, entertaining.
That's actually something
it just put off me a little bit.
A couple episodes or so ago, I had been watching one of your old videos, and you made a comment about that, And I remember we were going to record a podcast, and in the podcast, I was like, by the way, there's something I was going to ask you about, and I never followed up on that. And that was what I was going to ask you about, actually, because I was like, I didn't actually know he thought he was a weirdo or whatever, because...
When people say creep or weirdo now, they are insinuating that someone is a pedophile or something like that.
That's right.
They're like, that's what so like social media is like, oh, he's a bit creepy. Like that's what they're insinuating. I just mean that like when your audience is Nickelodeon and all that, doing those types of jokes, I find a little bit distasteful. Like we're talking to an audience of, 20 to 30-year-olds. But when you're still on Nickelodeon and still a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle and all that, and you're going on Nickelodeon like focused podcasts and you're behaving, that's all I mean by that.
Oh, we'll get to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
We will actually. I have been proven wrong. I will take back my prior comments. But anyway, yes.
Jim Ward also passed away, who was... He's done a lot of voices, but he was like Doug Dimmadome and Fairly Odd Parents, and he was a big voice actor in general.
That's right. I don't think you messaged me that, but I think I saw that on Facebook.
I didn't know that you would care as much, I guess. Like, I'm trying to go... I remember there was a voice he did that I really cared about, and for the life of me as I go through here, I cannot remember what it was, but he's done so many like video game voices, and... I don't know. I don't remember what it was, but he played Admiral Akbar in Star Wars Battlefront, apparently.
Hell yeah.
But
Which one? Which era?
It says that it's Elite Squadron, so the one on DS and PSP.
I didn't even know they had voice lines.
Apparently so.
Impressive.
So yeah, and then I shot you a message yesterday, I think, or the day before, as we were planning to record finally for our big season finale, and kind of a topic that we addressed early on in the season.
Yes. Another death in the family. It's very sad.
And like, let's be clear, I tried to find sources, and I am not finding much information about this, so this could be total bullshit. I don't know if this Twitter account that posted this. Yeah, I don't know if the Twitter account that posted this is reliable or not, but the rumor is that the Jimmy Neutron movie is happening, but it's going to be Jimmy Neutron travels to the real world, and
adult Jimmy Neutron.
Yes, a grown-up Jimmy Neutron travels to the real world and hangs out with it said a teenager. I don't know what that meant, but it just gives me vibes of like, oh, Garfield's in real life New York City. Like, yeah, that kind of crap.
But what's weird is in Jimmy Neutron, they are in the real world. That's why the Jimmy Timmy crossover stuff, when he comes over, it's like, oh, we're in, like, everything's so like three-dimensional and all that. But also, just quickly, Jed Spingarn is the guy that's done all the Thunderman's movies and the Jimmy Timmy Power Hours. And he directed Win, Lose, and Kaboom, which was one of the best Jimmy Neutron specials. Doesn't mean I want this. I don't want this.
Right, and kind of earlier weeks ago, I also messaged you and pointed out that they were adding the movie of Jimmy Neutron to, or I can't remember if it was the movie or the show. One of the two was apparently not, I think it was the movie, was not on Paramount Plus. And apparently
it's been on
going
Netflix
up
for ages, because there was debate in 2018. Once again, this is back on the podcast. I remember Debbie Derryberry talking about it and being like, send letters if you want to see a Jimmy Neutron reboot. She was saying to send letters to Netflix.
Okay.
It seemed that Netflix, because that was during the time when Netflix and SpongeBob were starting to have their deal about those 3 movie releases. And at that stage, SpongeBob was on Netflix. So she was prompting people to go and send letters to Netflix to encourage a Jimmy Neutron reboot.
And now they hate each other because they're both fighting over Warner Brothers. So,
which would you prefer? Would you prefer Paramount to own Warner Brothers or Netflix? Because I didn't care until Netflix literally said that they weren't going to shut down, like they weren't going to bring all the Warner Brothers stuff onto Netflix. And I was like, so I still need to own 2 streaming services?
It's like it's been very inconsistent messaging, and in general, when I've noticed a lot of discourse about Paramount's the devil incarnate, and this would be the worst possible outcome if Paramount bought them. Personally, I'm much more against Netflix owning Warner Brothers because I think Netflix has single-handedly been ruining Hollywood. I don't think streaming's great, but it's killed things in so many ways, and now they're claiming they won't be. Initially, they were saying the movie theater experience is outdated. Nobody wants that anymore. Everyone just wants to watch things at home, blah, 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 blah. This is what the CEO was saying. And now that everyone was getting kind of dicey and they were worried about like Paramount coming in from under them and buying it out, they were saying, "Oh no, we're not gonna remove things from theaters. Things are gonna stay the same as far as theaters go." And I don't believe them, but
yeah,
I'm not frankly I'm not a fan of either, but someone's gonna buy them clearly, and
it's hard though because I'm not sure if there is a way back to what cinemas really were before.
There's not.
But once
Netflix,
once you've broken that chain of people's interests, like I am so excited for the Odyssey. I am very doubtful if I would go and see that cinema.
I think
I was super excited for Dune 2. I still haven't seen it.
There are certain moments where theaters have really made a comeback, and I will say when I was surprised when I went to the theater last night to see SpongeBob, because it was hopping. Like,
really?
It was surprisingly crowded. I was expecting it to be totally empty because it was just technically it was just the 27th. It was just a random day. It was a Saturday, but still. So I don't know. All I know is I think Netflix would kill it entirely if they were to own Warner Brothers. But we will see. That being said, I am going to the theater again on Wednesday to watch the Stranger Things finale, which is a Netflix thing.
Is it playing in cinemas?
They're playing the finale in theaters on New Year's Eve only, like just one night. Bunch of showings. Most of them are sold out when I looked.
Have they not released all the episodes on Netflix now?
They had released Volume 1, which was 4 episodes. Volume 1 of Season 5. Volume 2 of Season 5, which was 3 episodes. And now there's still the finale, which is going to release on New Year's.
Right, because I went to Facebook today, and there's just a bunch of like full season, like people like giving their final reviews of the series. And I was like, oh, I guess Volume 2 must have been the final thing.
No, it's not over.
Like,
and everyone is passing judgment. Not to get into it. The Stranger Things discourse is ridiculous online right now.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed the season for what it is. I've enjoyed the show for what it is. I think season 4 was probably better, but season 5 is still on some really interesting things. Everyone's saying it sucks, but I disagree. And I think a lot of the people saying it sucks are saying it because of certain reasons. So
I stopped watching because season 3 was really bad. But I have heard good things about I heard really good things about season 4, but I was like, I'm so behind now, I might as well wait until season 5.
I really like season 3, actually. Season 3 was my favorite, and I was made fun of for that. But Pladley, enemy of the show, he went back and rewatched the entire series recently, and he actually came around on season 3, and he's like, oh, yeah, I actually do think this is better. Because season 2 was just season
more
one
of the
worst.
exact same thing, yeah.
And I just thought season 3 was fun with what they were doing. It was kind of dumb, but... And then season 4...
I think from my... Just really quick, from my memory, and it's been a while since I watched it, season 3, I never liked Billy or Max, so character-wise I wasn't invested in that. And I hate... The thing I dislike about Stranger Things is the teen drama stuff. And so the more of that's in the show, the more I dislike about it. Like, I'm there for the horror stuff and for the... like all the investigation stuff, and I hated the regression of Hopper, of Hopper's character into this angry dad. And I was like, what was the first 2 seasons about? You're learning to love and be engaged and be connected, and now you're just this bitter.
If those are your problems with everything, you may hate season 4, but I thought the writing, the twists in season 4, were very well done.
Well, I'm interested in season 4 because apparently season 4 went a lot harder in the horror department, so I'm more interested for that.
Well, sort of, yeah. I mean, it's a different kind of horror, but it's very Max focused. It leans even more into Hopper being that he's in a Russian prison. Yeah, the whole season, and I hated that part of the season, but
I could tell from the trailers. I'll be like, that's the side quest that I'm going to be slogging through.
Yeah, exactly. And season 5, they've all been together for the most part. They've had to split up here and there, but for the most part, there's not really one side quest that just is like
that's good.
So that part's been good, but yeah. Real quick,
it's also I don't envy them releasing at the same time or around the same time as Welcome to Derry, because when a show comes out with its first season, there's often a lot more like, oh my God, this is amazing, compared to a show in its final season. There's usually a lot more resentment and a lot more negative emotion.
People have definitely been comparing the two unfavorably on Stranger Things part, saying that the show is better or whatever, and it's like,
I think it probably had a bigger. Oh, actually, no. Stranger Things is the flagship. I don't know.
Stranger Things has been out since like 10-ish years now.
2016, yeah.
Yeah, and it's kind of like Gravity Falls. I explained this way to my cousins. I feel like it's kind of like Gravity Falls, where it's like wrapping up something like this is hard. Like all these mysteries and everything, and doing it in a way that's going to satisfy everyone is impossible.
Weird Mageddon. What was that? Yeah.
Yeah. Because I did not personally love the Gravity Falls ending, but I understand that it wasn't for me. I don't know. But I'm hopeful for the finale of this, and I will be seeing it in the movie theater on Wednesday night.
That's exciting.
And real quick before we get into the main event, which it would have been a good transition to be like, oh, and I was in the theater last night, but how was your Christmas?
My Christmas was very good. So my wife was raised in a religion that didn't celebrate Christmas or birthdays or anything like that. So this was technically like her 4th Christmas. So we're still in that stage of, it's kind of like going back to like a childhood Christmas thing, like house completely decorated, heaps of presents and all that. We kind of came to the end of this one and be like, okay, I think that's probably the last one we'll do, where it's like piles and piles of presents. Because, when you're an adult, it's like, if you want something, you kind of already, you buy. Like, there isn't that many stages where it's like, ooh, wrong though. She bought me a lovely present that
I was going to ask what you get.
I have been needing for my chef's knives a sharpening stone for years. And I've walked into cooking places and been like, can I see your sharpening stones? And they'll show them to me, and they're very reasonably priced and they're all great. And I'm like, very good. And I'll always leave. For years, I just didn't buy it, and I desperately needed one. And I would go out with the intention of buying one, and I would always leave. I would never buy it. And so she finally bought me one. And so on Christmas Day, I was just sharpening my knives.
Your family walks in, and you're like, shink, shink.
There with my aligner as well. So the sing. Yeah. And I'm like, I need something to cut. I need something to cut. I've done all the cooking already. But yeah, no, lovely Christmas with the family. My older siblings have kids that are getting into that 3 and 4 year old stage, so they're just having a great time and they're heaps of fun. Yeah, and then I finally, just to go on a slight tangent, sorry, I have been on a quest that ate up most of my time around Christmas, but it's done now, and it's so much fun. I was working heaps leading up to Christmas. I was working Christmas Eve. I worked till like midday Christmas Eve. But the past, like the 2 days leading up to it, the 2 days after, I was trying. So I have this, I've built a living room PC. So it's in a really cool wooden case, so it's like slots in with the bookshelves and all that. It's very tasteful. It's an AMD build with an Intel Arc B580 GPU. So reasonably powerful. It can handle low-level 4K stuff, kind of high-end RTX, like ray tracing, 1440p.
Is that the gaming
content
box you have been talking about or whatever, or is this something else?
Yes. So in the past, I've been using that in the past for a version of Linux called Batasira, and it runs everything from N64 to Wii U flawlessly, perfectly, fantastic. So I've been playing. I played Wind Waker on there. I played some Wallace and Gromit games. I replayed through a few SpongeBob games. And with Danae, I've been playing heaps of Lights, Camera, Pants and the classic, because she never played them as a kid.
I thought we weren't going to go back and play that one.
Well, she wanted to play party games, so we played that, and then we played the first two Mario Party games as well. So I had that working. It was great. But then she was always asking us, like, can I play my Steam games on this? Because she's like a big, like, you know, the Stardew Valley, the kind of cozy games, you know, Tales from the Shire, all those
Switch 2 update for Stardew out of nowhere for some reason.
60 FPS, baby. Don't know why you need an update for Stardew, but
I don't either.
But I was like, okay, how do I get Steam running on this? I'll launch it with a separate, like, I'll have a separate thing running a different type of Linux that's built for Steam OS. So running it like it's a Steam Deck type of thing, but on the big TV. So then, because what I want is, it needs to be flawless, and I never want to pull out a keyboard for it. It needs to operate like a console, all that stuff. I spent days trying to install this specific type of Linux into it. I tried every different option.
Potato salad.
3 days making that potato salad. 3 days. And it was just fighting me. And I jumped through different versions of Linux, and I made the realization, I think, Christmas Eve, where I like 3 days of headaches. I was like, I could install Windows on this bad boy and just make it boot into Steam Big Picture mode automatically.
Yeah. I don't.
And it works. It works.
Yeah.
So
I don't mess with Linux.
So I went with that. So I had to do a few like things that made like Windows log in automatically. So I didn't need to put in a password and that type of stuff. And boot with switching on the controller, like some stuff like that. But I got it working, and I've been playing through Resident Evil 2 with Danae, which is good fun. And yeah, been playing stuff like that. So that was my kind of Christmassy time, was spent around just like, how do I get this damn thing to work?
Yeah. Well, yeah, this is my first night back in the apartment because Mr. Jephthah was staying in my apartment with his family. So I was crashing on the couch next door. Got some cool presents. For one, that.
Yeah.
Then this is a game changer because hold on. Let me
shout into the microphone real quick. Oh yes, I forgot about the shitty arm.
I'm gonna burn this. Listen, people, if you need a pop filter for your microphone and you go on Amazon and this says like, oh, this one says it's universal or whatever, it'll work. No, don't do it. Please don't. I hate this thing with all my heart. It worked well enough as far as what it's supposed to do, but the connector and the arm, and it doesn't stay up, and it doesn't connect to anything, and because it's like bent weird, and it's supposed to be bent to connect to the bottom of this, but it's not universal. It sucks.
Yeah, it's not.
And it was always a pain to use, and now this just slots right on here, and it works, and it's beautiful, and I am so happy. It's a game changer as far as recording my videos goes. I also got Star Wars Outlaws for Switch 2, which I requested because I'd heard some negative things.
Why would you request that? Why would you request to get a Ubisoft game?
I've actually requested a lot of Ubisoft games for Christmas, a lot of the Switch Assassin's Creed ports over the years.
Yeah.
But I'd heard some negative things as far as the game itself goes, but the Switch 2 port was supposedly pretty impressive, and it is. I haven't gotten super deep into it, but yeah, it's not great. it's all right, but like in Star Wars, I'm playing it for the story, I guess, but like gameplay wise, it's very generic. And I don't think they went far. Like, it should have been more like an Assassin's Creed game. And it has some elements of that, but it's just not. It's not there. And then the last present I want to show, I sent a message to, I think I sent one to you and to my cousin's group chat, Pladley and Mr. Jepsa, just joking around. I saw this picture of this Funko Pop that was coming out.
No.
And I sent...
no.
I sent a picture to, I think, you and them, and I said, all I want for Christmas this year, as a joke. I was joking around. And little did I know that Pladley was apparently looking for something real to get me this year.
I didn't think it was real.
He took it seriously. And when I opened it last night, I died. I was like, holy crap. It's a Hot Topic exclusive Funko Pop, too. It's crazy. But I have my first SpongeBob Funko Pop here. It's a Patrick.
Yeah.
And you turn, or demonetized.
Oh man!
And I'm gonna have to hide it when family are over, but I love it with all my heart. Thank you, Pladley. Very cool.
That's rotten. That's awful. I can't believe Pladley did that. Enemy of the show.
But yeah, and then Mr. Jeptha got me a cup, a Star Wars cup. And he paid for my movie ticket last night. And so, the main event of this episode, we are going to discuss the movie that we've been talking about all year long, all season long, and it's finally here. The fourth SpongeBob movie, technically like sixth or seventh if you count the Netflix ones.
Third if you count theatrical releases.
Yes, the third theatrical release, and it certainly was theatrical compared to
Just want to chuck some numbers out there real quick. The box office wise, domestic opening, these obviously aren't adjusted for inflation. But first movie, $32 million on domestic opening with a budget of $30 million. Second movie. Domestic opening of $55.3 million on a $74 million budget. This one, we don't know what the budget was, with a domestic opening of 15.6.
Well, actually, I just was about to read off. I saw a tweet as I was getting ready here that For SquarePants is up to 60.3 million at worldwide box office.
Yes, worldwide. This one says 55.
But it says that the budget was 64 million.
Okay. Does that mean it's so low? It does make sense that it would be lower than the second movie.
So it's about to break even.
Very good. Second movie, I think they spend a bit too much on the second half of it's
they were pushing
like relocation stuff.
So I told you last night I was very excited to talk about this because I'm very curious what your thoughts were, because going into it, the Rotten Tomatoes scores came out, which I know a lot of people don't really get, but it's like an aggregate score of critical reviews, really high. It got up to like a 91% overall, which is unheard of for a SpongeBob anything. And my expectations were starting to get, I was like, this is like, is this going to be like crazy good or whatever? And you told me your expectations couldn't be lower because of the Ice Spice big guy stuff.
Yes, the Ice Spice stuff came out. And I think Charlie Moist Critical made a video saying that it was like the worst thing in this, like the SpongeBob scene, or one of those types of people like had come out saying it was a YouTube short that was like saying that it was the worst thing, like SpongeBob, like the lowest low of SpongeBob. And I was like,
that's the weird thing. They really, for one, well, I'll get to that, I guess, but just in general, they really did not. they really pushed advertising, but pushing the whole big guy Ice Spice stuff was a mistake.
Praise the Lord, she was not in it that much.
Yeah, I don't know why they chose to use that
anymore
as
than
the
what she was
marketing
in.
cycle for this. Especially with all the controversy around her in the premiere. I don't know if you know anything about that. We'll get to that, but
I do. I saw a little bit of that. I was talking to Danae about while we were driving over. I also apparently she was saying people really don't like Ice Spice at all at the moment. So it was a weird decision as a whole
about her.
Like she's quite disliked at the moment, like in the past year or so. So it was an interesting decision at all to use her.
And it's like the song in general could have been sung by anyone. Like it was
literally anyone.
It was a weird choice, but I wanted to say
going into seeing the movie, we were opposites. You had really like high expectations. I think I was going into it being like, okay, what? Because my expectations were so low. I was going into it a little bit of, okay, how am I going to make this interesting? Like, what parts am I going to be annoyed about? What parts am I going to talk about in the review that will back up whatever opinion I have? I was going in like, I'm going to be the bad cop in this.
Right.
podcast.
Well, I was wondering if that was going to be the case too. I had seen early takes, like people coming out of early screenings and giving their non-spoilery like takes, and I didn't see a single negative take about the movie early on. Everything I read was either positive or maybe slightly mixed, but leaning towards the positive. And I was like, I've never seen such a thing before, especially with SpongeBob. And like I saw all this positive stuff, the reviews were so high, and then I don't know, like right after the movie came out, there was like these honestly I think it was a grift. I started seeing these like YouTube shorts and like Facebook reels and crap where people were like, there's this one particular one, I don't remember who it was was somebody that was saying, the new SpongeBob movie just came out and everyone across the internet are literally walking out in the middle of the movie at the and like making out to be like, this movie is horrible, the worst thing ever, Steven Hillenburg's rolling in his grave, do not go watch this movie, blah blah blah. And now I'm seeing a lot of people saying,
the only thing Steven Hillenburg is rolling in his grave about is how much people invoke his name over literally anything.
It's ridiculous. And it's really frustrating to me. And now I'm seeing people say it's not for kids, it's an 18 plus movie, too many butts and crap. And it's like there's so many weird random controversies over this movie, and I saw all these videos saying that the movie sucked, everyone hates it, blah 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 blah, and I'm like, no, that's not true. Like literally everything I've seen was positive up until all these grifters came out and started trying to stir up controversy. And then you look at the comments and it's all the people saying, oh, SpongeBob hasn't been good since when I was a kid, blah 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 blah, like the typical thing. And I think that's why the grifters are getting away with it, is because the general consensus is SpongeBob bad now, regardless of what it is. It's just bad. So I was mostly curious to get your take, because I feel like our opinions on these things are usually quite different. So
sure. I will say, so obviously went to go see it with Nay. A few interesting kind of things. Obviously, I did not like the Ice Spice stuff. I could handle the amount that she was in. It was fine. They always do that. So did I.
SpongeBob big guy, pants okay.
There you go. I thought it was pants on fleek.
No, it's pants okay. Pladley thought it was so big. Pants so big.
Pants so big.
But I'm pretty sure it's
interesting.
Pants okay, which is even worse than both of those options.
So, that was annoying. CGI wise, visually wise, I think they're finally in a really good place with the visuals. It really feels like SpongeBob.
It's not just that it feels like SpongeBob. It was, I thought it was like shockingly well. Like, it looked really good especially at certain moments.
Yeah. I'll say that. The Mark Hamill stuff makes sense. I understand why now, because once again, and I said it today, I was like, they couldn't help themselves. They couldn't help themselves but do a live action moment at the end. Well, and it makes sense why they have Mark Hamill, because they have a live action thing. But we'll get to that later.
I was going to say, we should go through all these points point by point, but yeah, keep going.
I will say, the toilet humor and all that did start to get a little like, okay, do you have any other jokes? And they did have other jokes, so that was fine, but they did keep coming back to that a little bit too much, but it's fine. About halfway through the movie, when we went to go see it, there was only about 10 people other than us, and most of them were kids.
I think it was about the same for us.
By about halfway through, the kids were done. The kids did not care anymore. They were running up and down the corridors. They were crying. They wanted to, the kids not care. All the adults were having a good time by the point where the montage is happening about the trials, like the best part with the music and all that. The kids were done. The kids did not care. They were asking to go, like all that. I thought the movie was fantastic. I thought the movie was great. Okay. I think it is as least as good. I really like the second movie. I think it's as good as that, or maybe better. Compared to the third movie doesn't exist in my mind anymore. Yeah. It goes 1, 2, this is the third movie. I will never reference that as the third movie ever again. This is the third SpongeBob movie. Quality-wise and just is fantastic.
Pladley had gone back and watched all of them in preparation for this because he was coming with me and Jephthah. And he really liked the second one, but even he agreed that he thinks this one was probably better than the second one. And it was fresh in his mind. I have not gone back and watched that one in years. I was telling him I need to go back and watch it to kind of solidify my thoughts, but in general,
the second one has the beautiful 2D animation. Like, that is a big thing for it. Like, the first half is just beautiful 2D animation.
I don't think it beats out the first one for me. Purely,
definitely not,
like nostalgia and whatnot, but I think it's definitely the second one. Like, for me, like I never really terribly cared for Sponge Out of Water. I think it came out at a time that was not like, I was not really into SpongeBob. I saw it.
I didn't even see it in the cinemas. I didn't see it in the cinemas.
I didn't either. I watched it streaming at some point. I don't remember. Probably rented it on Amazon or something. And, I thought it was all right for what it was, but I was so past it at that point that I really need to go back and watch it again. But this, I concur, this movie was really good, in my opinion. And I want to go back through all the points you brought up, because there's other points as well that I wanted to bring up, but a lot of those points were points. I will say, animation, I already kind of said that. There were certain segments, especially where it was just so like, I don't even know what the word is, like smooth and like it just like the part of like near the beginning where they start talking about being swashbucklers on the ghost ship, and then all the pirates start like mock fighting each other or whatever. Just, it was so cinematic the way, and it like I'd never seen anything like that in a SpongeBob movie before.
It's gotten so fluid and so
that's the word.
well paced and well choreographed that it is as good as what 2D animation would have been, because 2D animation has like that claymation built in. Yeah,
like some of the time.
2D animation has that built in timing, because the way they would do the like the picture drawings to lay out the scene, like everything was built on these kind of beat. They've gotten to that same level of like creativity and just fluidity with 3D animation, that it is no longer a worse product. In the second movie, they're these big blocky meat chunks that are kind of like waddling around. Like, they look good, but they are like, there's none of that same dynamics that's in 2D in the second movie, but you do have that here. And the third movie doesn't exist.
I was going to say, in general, like, it looks better than all the other 3D animated ones.
Yes.
They've really hit their stride with that. And I guess we should say real quick, spoiler alert, we're going to be getting into like plot, I'm sure, at some point. So if you haven't seen the movie, just keep watching and just be spoiled. It's fine.
It is just a SpongeBob movie. It's okay.
The one thing I will bring up that you didn't necessarily mention is I was very fearful because I had read that it was very nostalgic and there was a lot of stuff in there for the adults. And I was like, with how self-referential SpongeBob the show has become, bringing back like always being like, hey, remember when we did this, or remember when we had that character or whatever. I was really afraid that it was going to be a lot of that, and it wasn't. It didn't really, like, the references to old SpongeBob were very subtle and not very in your face. Like at the beginning, you see him put 2 different stuffed animals on his little weight thing and lift it up like that. That's a reference to the past, but it's not overt. It's like
it felt just like, oh, we're dealing with SpongeBob as a character and this is what SpongeBob does. Less, oh, here's a moment to make you feel like the old stuff. It's like, no, well, SpongeBob, he feels like a big guy, so he's doing the extra things on his weights that he always does.
And in general, with the plot, it's kind of interesting that it doesn't exactly acknowledge anything that came before. It's kind of like its own thing with its own new lore. Like it kind of comes off as though he'd never met the Dutchman before, and Mr. Krabs has this new backstory, and like it basically was kind of just doing its own thing. And
well, we always knew that he was the like food guy when he was in the Navy. That's what we remember when we made the appetizer, like with the appetizer in the
I don't know that was what they were going for,
and the peas,
but yeah, I feel like they were kind of just because
doing something new.
The original idea was like that. Oh, he was this pirate swashbuckler or whatever, and then you find out, oh no, he wasn't. But like I said, the Dutchman, it was kind of, the Dutchman had this whole new lore and arc to him. And I will say, we were very apprehensive about Mark Hamill, I would say, initially, and very quickly I feel like it worked. It didn't feel wrong. The voice worked. The character in general, I think, worked really well. It was different, but I really did not have any problems with.
And also the new characters, Bob was really good. I really liked Bob. Bob was fantastic.
I like that he finally had a pirate crew.
Yes, I was a bit, when I first saw them appear, I was like, that's not right. That's not right. I don't like that, but I quickly, like, because Bob is just so like entertaining, you kind of put it aside. I'm just like, it's fine. I will just say, I love it. It pleases me to no end that we finally have another SpongeBob movie where Plankton isn't like one of the villains, and it isn't Bikini Bottom getting destroyed and remade and all this type of stuff. I was like, oh, thank God.
I knew you were going to comment on that because I was thinking during the movie, I was like, this is kind of what Chester wants the games to be, just kind of their own.
Just a different story, just anything else.
And that was one thing that was interesting was like, it didn't try to force characters into the story that didn't need to be there for the sake of paying the actors. It didn't really use Sandy much. Plankton had like one line.
The 2 Sandy scenes was so good.
It got really meta there when Sandy showed up.
For a second, and then glitched out and left.
That was really weird, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was weird that I guess the 2, it's not supposed to be the same fish from the show, but how George Lopez was voicing the fish man during that scene, that was an interesting choice. I don't know why they got George Lopez for this one short scene. Like that was odd. But
who's George Lopez?
You don't know who George Lopez is?
George Lopez.
What would you know George Lopez from? I think he was in the Blue Beetle most recently.
No. He was the teacher in Shark Girl and Lava Girl.
I was about to say Shark Boy and Lava Girl. He had his own sitcom when I was a kid. the George Lopez show or whatever. But
Mr. Electric, send him to the principal and have him expelled.
Yeah.
Very good.
So I'm trying to think of where to go next with this conversation. The jokes, you talked about the toilet humor. There was a lot of butt jokes, but I was actually pleasantly surprised there was not as many butt jokes as I was expecting. to be perfectly honest, especially based on the trailers. There were quite a few.
I'm fairly sure the third movie or the second movie had more. Like, it had already gone that direction a long time prior.
And there was nothing in there, like, there was the whole kind of, like, side thing of Mr. Krabs and Squidward and Gary trying to get back to SpongeBob. Didn't feel like, it didn't feel like
side
a slog
plot type of thing.
Yeah.
But also, like, it was a nice, different dynamic than what we always get in the movies. And it was nice that the dynamic was kind of about Mr. Krabs and SpongeBob. Like, it was about the two of them and their dynamic, rather than always being SpongeBob and Pat. Like, they're together,
right,
but the story is about SpongeBob and Mr. Krabs. And it's like, we actually haven't had that in a single one of these movies.
There is a plot about SpongeBob and Patrick, but like you said, that there's a lot of different things going on. And I think I told you, I messaged you at some point when we were just talking. I read that this was originally supposed to be the Mr. Krabs solo movie, and they decided to rework it. And I could definitely see that in what they were doing.
Was this meant to be another one of Netflix movies?
I believe that was the original goal. Like, how they were doing the Sandy and the Plankton, they were going to do Mr. Krabs.
They still haven't done the Squidward movie, have they? They're, like, all this was proposed as being like, we're doing a Squidward movie, basically.
I don't remember that, but yeah. One thing that was pointed out to me is there's always a pirate in the movies, at least as far as the theatrical movies go. But that, especially a live action pirate, because at first they're
also Clancy they never Brown. Call back to the they never come back to Clancy Brown as the pirate.
He's
just in there at the start,
telling the tale.
He doesn't finish telling the tale. He doesn't, like, do the closing of the book or anything.
Yeah. That's true.
Unless there was an end credits scene.
No, there wasn't. I looked it up to make sure because I thought maybe there would be, but there was not. For whatever reason, they didn't feel it necessary. But and so overall with the plot, the idea that, like, they kind of shifted the Dutchman lore where it was like the idea of being the Flying Dutchman isn't that he's dead. He's like Barbossa in Pirates of the Caribbean. He's cursed and has to break this curse by passing it off onto someone else or whatever. I thought that was interesting, kind of goofy. I didn't hate it, even though, like, I always liked the bit about his dead body being put in a window as a store display, and then we got about that. And I do think it didn't look like Mark Hamill most of the time. The only times where I was like, oh yeah, that's Mark Hamill, during the live action stuff after he becomes human again, was like,
it took a while. I was squinting. I was like, what is that, Mark Hamill?
Yeah. Well, could
they just not be bothered to get him out and set?
And his beard, like, turns around. You can kind of tell as as he doesn't really have the beard quite right. You can tell that it's definitely him. But they did a very good job with the prosthetics there, making him look like a human version of the Flying Dutchman cartoon. The Patrick stuff, he was just kind of along for the ride, and then he ends up befriending Barb by the end of the movie because both of their best friends kind of betrayed them in a way.
But that's the way to do a Patrick arc, not the way they did in the movie where they end up hating each other and they're angry at each other and bickering and arguing and then they come together at the end to be friends. No one wants that from SpongeBob and Patrick. You want it to be like they're kind of going on different paths, but they like come back together. Or Patrick, like, just doesn't understand what's going on, and SpongeBob has to, like, what he does in this movie, where SpongeBob has to prioritize different things. That's more interesting than we're going to act like they're not friends for the next 20 minutes.
Yeah,
and we're going to make intentional choices that neither of those characters would do to just make this work, type of thing.
Like you said, the Mr. Krabs plot was very interesting as well, because I feel like overall, like especially by the end, it showed Mr. Krabs kind of in like a more... He's never been this sensitive before. Like, he's never cared about SpongeBob this much before. That was a different dynamic, I would say. Like, I don't know. They hug at the end. I don't know that I've ever seen Mr. Krabs and SpongeBob hug before.
Well, I think because when the movie started and we got that first like conversation with them about the big guy, I was like, is this just the same plot as the first movie?
I was a little bit.
Is this just going to be the exact same thing? But because you have Mr. Krabs involved in it the entire way, and it is also about like their relationship, that's what stops it from feeling like it's the exact same thing.
They did kind of retread old ground, I will say, with like even the show, but like with the movie, like you said, in the first movie they want to be men. In this movie, he wants to be a big guy, and like the idea of the roller coaster, like they've done that in the show before. Like a lot of the stuff that they did in this movie, they've done similar in the show before, but they just did it differently, I guess. I don't know. And yeah, the whole big guy thing, like they only wrote that song because they wrote the big guy into the thing, and it's like, why did they push that so hard in the marketing? Like, did they really think that we wanted to see Ice Spice sing a song that's like 4 words strung together over and over?
Just also chucking it out there, you know, cost-wise, budget-wise, how many millions of dollars do you think Mark Hamill was?
He had to be the biggest name on the ticket, I would say.
Do you think anyone is going to see the movie because Mark Hamill is in it?
Maybe.
Anyone?
I would say it's a possibility, but I would say most people probably don't even know he's in the movie.
Do you think it is in the singular percentile of people?
I think there's at
under
least
10%.
1% of people.
Okay. Let's say they spent $10 million to $5 million on Mark Hamill. Yeah, a big chunk of this budget for 1% of people to go and see it. Because the guy who does the voice acting for Flying Dutchman, he was the car dealership guy in The Middle. Like, he can do all the physical running stuff. You can also have him voice over someone being like,
I
doing the running
understand
around.
why they didn't use him, to be honest. I understand why they went with Mark Hamill, because like you said, the live action stuff, I really don't know if that would have worked as well with the original voice actor. But also this version of the Dutchman, it's almost like there's the Neptune from the show and the Neptune from the movie. It feels like there's the Dutchman from the show and the Dutchman from the movie. They're kind of 2 different characters.
Mm-hmm. I understand that, but you could just recast. Yeah, and not spend millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah, but
it's irrelevant. But
yeah, and I don't know. Maybe Mark Hamill's not as expensive as I would think that he would be these days, because he doesn't.
Maybe. I mean, he was in
he did Star Wars.
He was in TV shows like Batman TV shows.
Yeah, he did the Joker, which he definitely sounded like the Joker at times, but it was very much its own voice.
He did. But yeah, so I really like the fact that you have the 2 main storylines. And you're cutting between them, but because they're going for the same goal, you never feel like that. Okay, can we get back to the other one? Can we get back to the other one? Can we get back to the other one? The only character remained really entertaining.
The only character that felt was like sort of unnecessary, but Mr. Krabs needed someone to bounce off of besides a snail was Squidward. Squidward was not terribly involved in the plot, I would say, and his jokes were not necessarily that interesting, but I'm glad he was there. The whole idea of like he had the hair that he fell on his head with the parrot clam thing, and then like by the end he's balding with the ponytail still.
That was very good. I really like there's a stage in the movie where the Mr. Krabs and Squidward are traveling along like a goo river in hell, and their boat breaks down. And so they're like, where are we going to go? And it's just a convenience store. It's like, oh, there's one of these everywhere. And they're going,
shop.
And it's like it's shot like a full-on horror sequence with Dutch angles, low to the ground shots, the flickering lights as they work out there's something in here with them and they all get attacked by this 3-headed bird. I was like, this is wildly entertaining.
That's the thing, is it did feel a lot more overall, like all the jokes and everything, for the most part, felt very much like the SpongeBob that I remember as a kid. There was still some moments that were like, why? Like, as far as the jokes, like, there was one point where they're like, rather than like doing exposition to explain what they have to do, Patrick just says, oh, we have to do this. And they're like, how do you know that? And he's like, I don't know. And it's like, okay, we're just going to accept that. I don't know what.
I found that entertaining. What I didn't find as entertaining was like the intestines scene where they're spanking each other.
I didn't mind the intestines in the context of what the plot was, because it was
you could do anything else.
It wasn't just random for random's sake. It was actually progressing the plot.
That is true. I loved the game show sequence that Barb and Patrick were doing the commentating over the challenges.
They were literally playing like NFL music while they were doing that. That was weird.
That was during the kind of fourth wall break sequence where they had Sandy glitch in and glitch out for a second because they needed her, like, in the movie. I was like, this is very entertaining. This is very good.
And I'm glad
they're playing the classic theme, the ukulele song as well.
Yeah, there was a moment where they just started playing random SpongeBob music. I was like, oh, okay. Well, I don't know.
Someone opened up Epidemic Sounds.
That was the thing, is the whole segment where he was going through the different challenges, like you said. I was worried that part was going to be a slog, but they pretty quickly just started like montaging it, like you said, and. Like the part with the football music and their sports commentating, I did really enjoy that, and I know my cousins did because they're big football people, and they definitely enjoyed that moment as well. And that was one
of the peaks of the movie for me, and that's why I found it really weird that the kids were like done.
And that's the thing.
They were running up and down the aisles. They were like, the younger ones were crying because they were bored. Like, all that. I was like, oh, I'm having a good time. Yeah, maybe these movies aren't really made for these kids anymore.
Well, that's the thing, is we've talked about this multiple times. Is have kids moved on from stuff like SpongeBob or console gaming and stuff like that? And it's like, I don't think so. I think this is still, and that's. I messaged you and I said I just saw a kid wearing an old school Nickelodeon shirt with like Hey Arnold and Aw Monsters on it, and it's like, maybe kids do care about Nickelodeon. But I don't know, it seems like the adults enjoyed it more than kids too. There were kids in my theater, they didn't seem like me and my cousins were the only ones laughing, to be perfectly honest with you.
Yeah. I was laughing. I wasn't even paying attention to anyone else. I was just laughing. I laughed the entire time.
We were laughing a lot. And one thing that really rubbed me the wrong way, if we want to get back into the Ice Spice drama, she wore something that was not terribly appropriate for a SpongeBob premiere, and Charlie, Penguin Zero, Moist Critical, whatever you want to call him, he did a video about it where he said, this is ridiculous, this is a kid's movie, because apparently some people were trying to say that she wore it because it was an 18 plus SpongeBob event, and he was like, are you insane? There would never be an 18 plus SpongeBob event. This is a show for children, blah 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 blah. And part of me agreed with him, where it's like, she shouldn't have been wearing that. But to act like SpongeBob is exclusively something for children, and there couldn't be an 18 plus SpongeBob event, and they're like, I don't know, his take rubbed me the wrong way a little bit about like, this is only for children, you're ridiculous if you think otherwise, blah 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 blah. And it's like, no, that's not the case. There could have been I don't think that was the case, but there could have been an 18 plus SpongeBob event.
No, I don't. I think it was absolutely the wrong thing to do. And I think it was stupid. And I think Nickelodeon should have vetted it. And I think Nickelodeon shouldn't like Nickelodeon should be very well aware of the type of person that she is and like the brand that she has, and should have been like more involved or been like it's still their brand, they have to protect it. I think that part was stupid. I didn't watch the full video. I watched the first thing. I was like the first maybe 30 seconds to work out like what he was talking about and all that. I have learned of this year, all outrage content follows the exact same formula, which is alter my worldview in any way necessary to make this a big deal, and then alter it again for the next issue to make it completely like unaligned. Because if the next day Nickelodeon started copyright claiming people for like adults for making reviews and stuff about like video essays about SpongeBob and all that, Charlie and these people would turn around saying, you know, these people like these are adults talking about something in in-depth manner, and you can't be like silencing them and removing this content, all that stuff. They'll change the ballpark, because then suddenly it's, you know, adults making mature, focused media around this older media that's important to them. The day before, it's, well, this is for kids and this is inappropriate and so on and so forth. It's all
It feels like
it's all rage bait.
It just feels like there's a disconnect where people like Charlie think SpongeBob, that's kid stuff. That's like, we enjoyed it when we were kids, but it will always be for kids. It's only made for kids. And then the kids who apparently, like a lot of them apparently just don't care as far as like the movie goes, like, because it's a genuinely good movie.
Yeah.
And they're like,
this is also
go home
just
now.
saying, this is also Charlie that, you know, I watch a fair bit of Moist Critical. I quite like him. He cannot go a single episode, like a single video, without making a SpongeBob joke. He calls stuff barnacles.
That's
and
true. He does make a lot of quotes.
Like, will not go a single episode without calling something dirty barnacles or something like that. I was like, well, clearly it's like rather important to the psyche of the internet and meme culture, and most of that's adults. And it's quite important to them. And
just this idea that it wasn't made for us, and maybe it wasn't, but we're the ones paying for it. We're the ones buying the tickets. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like you and I feel like a majority of the internet are the ones who watched this and are talking about it, and I don't think kids care. It's like
it's the same. But it's the same issue of like, it's the same issue with what was Titans of the Tide, with them sending out review codes to people that don't care.
Yeah,
and with Dice of Destiny sending out review codes to people that aren't in the SpongeBob community, is like,
which was
courting
weird.
the
that
wrong
one was especially
group.
Weird.
These people dislike you and will use anything they can to make content that will smear you, because that's what gets clicks.
That one felt even more niche, like all these random Nicktoons characters.
What's the blue puppet gonna say positive about this game?
Exactly. That was the one that came to my mind. I was like, why did you give one to Arlo? I don't understand. And it's like, did Arlo seek it out? Because if so, that makes sense. But I don't think he did. I think they just sent it to him. And it's like,
yeah,
why? I don't know. Overall, like, I think we've made it clear we really liked it. I would like to say, maybe this is
the director.
Maybe this is a turning point where, you know, like the first movie was kind of a turning point for the show. Like maybe.
Oh,
what? It's Seema Zargan.
IMDb is low.
That's the thing, is I've noticed the ratings of, as far as fans go, are low, and I think it's the grifters and the people who are saying this is bad.
Yeah.
Because the critics actually thought it was good. The people who are looking at it for what it is think it's good. It's all the freaking morons who are like, this is stupid. This isn't my SpongeBob. Not my SpongeBob. Hashtag not my SpongeBob. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, so the director of this, Derek Dryman, has not made a heap of like crazy good stuff. He worked on one of the later Hotel Transylvania movies.
Oh.
Penguins of Madagascar, Turbo.
Are we skewed? Are we trying to see something that's not there? I don't know, because I genuinely
about the movie.
I genuinely had, I was smiling the whole time. I genuinely had a really good time.
I went in with the intention of like, oh yeah, I'll be the bad cop. Like, this is obviously going to be bad. I'll tear this thing apart. It'll be entertaining for the video. I went in fully intent on that, and it won me over in the first maybe 10 minutes.
Even though the song made me roll my eyes,
an adult who has only watched SpongeBob as an adult, no nostalgia for it at all, and she really likes seasons 1 through 4 and a little bit of stuff in season 7. She loved it. She had a great time.
Even the Ice Spice stuff makes, like, the song, it made me roll my eyes at the beginning, but it's only in the beginning. And I suspect a lot of the reviews, at least on IMDb, are not people who went and saw the movie. They're people who saw the Ice Spice trailer and were like, this is garbage. Because I think that's the majority of the takes online, is people saw the trailers and passed judgment on the whole movie because of the marketing. And that's one thing we should address, is they pushed marketing hard. I don't know if you saw as much of it in Australia, but out here,
nothing really.
Ads out the wazoo, constantly posting on social media. I talked about on this show how Burger King back in the day did the whole thing for the original movie. They didn't go quite all out like they did as far as putting the giant SpongeBob balloons on top of the roofs. Although there was one Burger King in another country that did like go all out. They had the whole thing, the whole building decked out in SpongeBob. Like they basically renovated the building to be the SpongeBob Burger King, which looked crazy. Wow. And
I haven't seen. Well, I have gone to painstaking efforts to remove all advertising from my life. I pay for YouTube Premium. I have every ad blocker on everything. If one of the streaming services starts to do the ad versions, I drop the streaming service. I live in a mostly ad-free world.
And those are not the ads that I was seeing just in general. Maybe it's that I'm on like Twitter and Facebook and stuff like that more, and I'm seeing it on there, and seeing the news stories and the articles, and like, let me hold on.
Also, being in America, you would see a lot more of that. Like, we didn't get Happy Meals here.
And Burger King is my favorite fast food place. And I kept my little Mr. Krabs treasure chest box for the cheesy tots. And because I sent the picture of this to you, and I was like, the box has been acquired or whatever, and you're like, you better save those for the movie, and just you don't care if they're old and stale. You eat them.
You eat them at the movies.
So I don't know. I was surprised by how much they did go all out, and it seems like it didn't make much of a dent, unfortunately. And I think that all comes down to centering all, like, as much as they did around the fact that they hired Ice Spice. I don't know.
Well, I understand, because what else do you advertise on? It's another SpongeBob movie. Oh, it's the Flying Dutchman. Like, you need that celebrity thing. I don't know. With the third movie, they had Snoop Dogg, and so like they pushed the hell out of Snoop Dogg, and yes, Keanu as well during the height of all that.
Yeah, I don't know what they could have done. I think they could have done better. I don't feel like they showed as much of what was actually going on with the movie in general. I think they could have shown more. I don't know, more Dutchman, more. It's hard. I don't know. I'm not an advertising expert. I just know what they did not work, clearly. Because I think if more people like our age would have gone to see the movie rather than just reviewing it without having seen it, which I genuinely think is probably a rampant problem.
Yeah. Well, the movie will break even, and it will definitely earn more money. It will do fine.
I think it'll come to streaming, and people might change their minds. But I think people in our circles all liked it.
I haven't spoken to anyone else yet.
I haven't spoken to anyone. I did look at Blue Knight. I saw Blue Knight's take. I think he liked it. We need to get him on. We season 2 Blue Knight. come on the show.
Blue Knight, we've got Zach Pack, we've got Justin Tendo.
We need to get Justin on. We got to do that trivia thing because I still have.
We've got to get Riders back on. We've got to get Sheriff back on. We've got to get BJ on. BJ's got to come on so we can talk about Clone Wars.
Clone Wars, yeah. Got to get Plaid, the enemy of the show, on now that he's converted.
No, we're not having Plaid Leon. We'll have the other one.
But he likes it. We should have had him on to talk about the movie.
No, we'll have Mr. Jeff back on. We'll have Jeff.
Yeah.
I don't know what to talk about. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, perhaps.
Oh, actually, yeah, we were. That was briefly address that.
That was so great.
There was a new TMNT short based on Mutant Mayhem. I think it's called Mutant Mayhem. No.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Something like that.
A short based on the last movie that played before the movie. And it was all like a commentary about AI, and it was interesting. I didn't realize who was voicing the robot. I believe it was. Did you ever watch The Office?
No.
Okay, then maybe you won't know who it is.
Is it Steve
Carell? I can't think of the actor's name. No, what is the guy's name? He came in late into The Office. He's more from like. A lot of people know him from other shows. Oh, what's his name? Zach Woods. I can't think of the names of his other shows, but.
Oh, yes. I mean, he was a Ninjago guy. What the hell?
Oh, I don't know.
I recognize him. I have not seen a single one of the shows that he's been in, but I recognize him.
But yeah, so you came around on TMNT for once. You were like, yes, TMNT, good. You did good.
Well, the last TMNT movie. So the last Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie that I watched that I really liked was TMNT 2007. That was like the gritty
that's
reboot.
The first one I ever saw. My sisters are obsessed with that one.
That's the only one I've ever watched of anything Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I think it was supposed to technically be like a continuation of like the Cartoon Network cartoon. I can't remember, but yeah,
perhaps, yeah.
That is most of my experience with TMNT as well. I watched a few seasons of the original Nickelodeon reboot, and it was good for what it was, but wasn't necessarily my thing so much as my sister's thing.
Yeah, but like I really enjoyed it, and it's got that like new age superhero movie thing where like it's a bit silly in how gritty it is and all that. But I found it really entertaining. Watching this was the biggest whiplash because that's who the characters are in my mind, and then seeing them walking around talking about ChatGPT
the last one,
and all that, and being complete nerds.
Yeah,
they were like complete all that. I was like, this is very different, but it was very funny, and the action was really good. It was as good as like any of the Into the Spider-Verse level action and choreography stuff. The
whole bit of them getting ripped off, like someone selling toys of them that are them but not them, and then when they meet this robot thing, it starts giving its backstory and just ripping from every franchise.
That's so good.
It was a very good show. I didn't terribly care for. I don't even think I finished the last movie that the short was based on, but I did really enjoy this short, and it didn't overstay its welcome. It went through pretty quick. So anyways, I give Search for SquarePants maybe a 9 out of 10.
I would give it. I'd give it a solid 8. Solid 8.
I might do that. I might go down to 8.5.
Yeah,
depending on the day.
Take out some of the jokes. Remove Ice Spice. If you removed Ice Spice, maybe a 8.5.
Yeah.
Oh, His internet's died.
I'm sure we'll talk about it more in the future, but I guess so we have not. We're ending the season.
And I'm keen. We have the new DLC for Titans of the Tide is related to this. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I hope it's good, man. I still haven't played the game. I still gotta get on that. I should have asked for Christmas, but I thought I would have it by now without having to. So, I wonder what it's going to be. Like, is it going to be story based, or what is it going to be? I don't know. Like, is it just going to be a whole new campaign based around the story from the movie?
I think from what I've heard writers and the others talk about, it's kind of like themed platforming levels, and not so like you're going through. What I was afraid of. Almost like the Patrick Block challenges, but they're themed towards the new movie.
Yeah. That's what I was afraid of, but hopefully it's.
Oh, he's gone. Him proper gone. Damn.
Anyways, we were talking about the game, and you said it was platforming levels or whatever. Hopefully it's still good. I was kind of like in my head picturing like just more of the Titans of the Tide gameplay, but with like story, like some kind of campaign or something, but it's probably too good to be true.
I think it's also costumes. There's a bunch of costumes that tie in with the movie and all that. It's weird stuff because it's a very expensive DLC. It's like $30 or whatever here in Australia, and it's not. It's mostly just little trial stages.
So anyways, before it crashes out here again, I guess let's talk about what our plans are as far as the show going forward. We're ending the season. We haven't really talked about. Well, you and I have talked a little bit about when we're coming back. It's not going to be like a long break. Yep. We've already had long breaks, unfortunately, because of just craziness in life and holidays and stuff. But when were you planning on having us start back up again? January, you said? I think
the plan is kind of mid to late January. We'll be back on the air for season 2 with a redesign. Perhaps we'll see.
We're planning.
I like the idea of doing each season having a different kind of brand.
I think it
feel.
Needs to. Like Good Mythical Morning, they kind of redo their branding every season or every few seasons or whatever. I think it makes sense. We've talked about maybe what we'll do with the branding. It'll be interesting, but we're also going to try to be more consistent, not just with our uploading, but with quality and stuff like that. We're kind of doing season 2 is going to be kind of a functional reset, I would say, where
I think we're trying to go with more of, because we really like the way the show currently is. We're wanting to add more structure to it in the sense of more reoccurring segments. So it's almost more like that kind of, because we want it to feel really information and opinion heavy. So you're coming out of it with a lot. We're wanting it to go more of that actual like newspaper feel of. We have reoccurring segments, reoccurring reading comments, a lot of that like just
a lot consistent of season 1 was just hanging out as bros. And there was that one episode
which was
where we
good
never
fun,
even
and
got
we'll
to
have
topic.
And we'll always have situations like that.
Yeah,
but trying to, I think that's a way of just because we're just so busy time wise. I don't have the time to spend a day editing a single episode, but if we can, in the actual recording, fill it with really high quality content and knowing a structure and jumping from stuff to stuff, then you come out of it with a high quality product and before even editing.
Both of our situations have changed over the course of the however many months we've been doing this.
You're 4 months now?
You're way more than that. We started in like April, I think.
6 months? April? Let's have a look. Oldest. 8 months. Jesus.
Yeah. Close to it. We're coming up on a year. Your situation as far as like your work has shifted. I'd lost my job, and then I would like to do more as far as like editing, because I think we really experimented with like upping the editing there for a minute, and I think it works really well, but it's a lot of work. And it can, like you said, it's sometimes you don't have a day or two to edit an episode. It can be tough, especially when there's technical problems. We still have a lost episode that we're working on, trying to fix. Maybe
every time we're like, oh, we've cracked it, it's working now. It's not working. It's like, oh, I could get this working if I spent a day on it.
Yeah, and that's what I was doing basically.
It's a good episode. It will happen one day.
It was killing my soul, but I would like to get more involved in that. It's just been, honestly, this whole year, I've been going through a mental health journey. I've been all over the place, and I feel like I'm in a good place now, but I gotta get a job.
That's good.
And you got slammed there near the end of the year, where you started taking on the one contract, and you've been doing a lot more work. So doing this podcast has become more of a challenge.
January till March, I'm re-releasing one book, releasing the audio book for it, and releasing my second book, while also I'm doing a challenge to write my fourth book in 2 months. So it's like,
and just planning.
I am aiming in the new year to cut back on some of the excess work, and cut a few of cut down a little bit on a bunch of other things. So I'm trying to have a little bit more time, and we'll change release dates. I think it ends up we changed to, I think, Fridays, and Friday is like my busiest day. So it was just like I would finish at like my work at like 6 or 7, and I'd be like, I got to do the podcast now.
We were doing that for the algorithm, and you and I will talk about that kind of behind the scenes and what might work better, or what I need to do to bring us success. I know we're going to be doing more shorts and stuff. You've been kind of tinkering with that. I tinkered with it earlier in the year, but then when I lost my job, money became a factor in what I was doing, how I was doing things. So we're going to be messing around and trying, because I really think, I don't know how many people consistently watch us, but I do think we've built up small.
Dude, I don't think I've told you about the Spotify, our Spotify numbers. The Spotify numbers are doing quite well, overall. Like, let me find it. And this is my career, but 1,000 listens in the past 30 days. And we haven't released anything basically in the last 30 days. So that's people watching old stuff, listening to old stuff and all that. We've reached 12.6 thousand people. It's good. It's good stuff.
I think we've got something special here that we can grow. It's just going to take some work. And
I'd like to get back into, and people can let us know, I'd like to get back into the shorter form videos, like that we take segments from this and turn them into their own videos. We'll do that with this, I think. We'll do like the review as its own video as well as this one.
That was successful, and if we do that, then people will not tune out immediately because we were talking about other stuff at first. I think that worked
That's true.
pretty well, and I don't know why exactly we stopped doing that. It just, there were things that we would try and we were like, yeah, this is working really well, and then for whatever reason life just got in the way and we stopped doing things the way we were doing them. This whole season, this whole thing, it's been an experiment,
experimentation.
We've been learning how, I've never done I've dabbled in podcasting, but I've never done anything quite like this on a consistent basis. So this year has been a learning experience.
And we're both experimenting with working with someone else as well. Like, most of our YouTube career has been solo stuff. So it's always a learning experience.
And I would say it's worked out pretty well. Sometimes you're doing things behind the scenes and I either forget what you're doing or you change your plans or whatever. I don't even know what we're doing as far as, because we've also talked about doing the investigation, the documentary style stuff. We've had a lot of that in the pipeline, and then I think those have been our more successful things. I experimented with releasing that video on here, going over that Dutchman doc. The way I've been reworking the script for the full documentary, I'm going to take that segment and kind of rework it back into the documentary. I don't know if I'll release more separate videos or not. I think it worked fine. It's just a lot of work that I could be contributing to the full documentary on the other channel as well. But, you know, I guess new year, new us. We'll figure it out. We're gonna try to be a lot more consistent. Not as many weeks off. We gotta plan. We gotta have one recording time every week that we just set aside to record, because we've had a lot of problems. I live in America. He lives in Australia. Time zones confuse him. I've noticed. He gets very confused about time zones.
Well, it doesn't help that Australia changes multiple time zones throughout its year. True, so, I'm like, I'll send you an Australian Eastern Standard Time. And I'm like, wait, no, it's Australian Eastern Daylight Time now, because it's this part of the year. Which means there's an hour difference. So
we'll just have, today we started at 7 p.m. EST, in America. I don't know what it's called in Australia, but we will have to just start putting on our schedule, checking times and everything, so that we do. And I know Danae was sending me reminders at one point, and then we stopped doing that as well. But we stopped being consistent in general. But we're gonna get there, guys. And thank you for joining us on this road. I don't know if we still have channel members. I was not consistent in the Discord as much as Chester has been, just because my life has been a mess. But if you do want to join channel membership, we do have a Discord where we chat about what we're doing, what we're working on, different Nickelodeon news, funny memes.
And you help out with was it the different investigations and all that as they chug along. And
just in general, it helps us be able to devote more time to the show, I would say. So join the community.
Thank you guys so much for joining us for this season 1, and we'll see you in the coming times.
Big guy pants okay.
Pants on fleek.
Pants on fleek.
Pants on fleek.
But we still screaming. SpongeBob, Johnny Bravo kicking by the beach bar. TJ making me feel like a big star. Parents saying television does harm. I said so wrong. Danny Phantom showing how to be strong. Courage making fears upon my mind, God. Parents saying television does harm.